Hi, this is Hector Castro of MMADiehards.com. I'm here at the MMA World Expo at the New Breed booth with Ben Saunders. Ben Saunders, known for tough and the ultimate fighter. You're obviously one of the main characters there. You developed a good name for yourself in the UFC. You're fresh off a victory at World Extreme Fighting 44, correct?
Yes, sir.
The guy, what, tapped out due to punches and elbows?
Yeah, I tapped out 2 elbow strikes.
Very nice, very nice. So you're working your way back, obviously, back to the top into the UFC or another top promotion. Let's talk about your reign at the UFC, though. Let's, did you think you got a raw deal by getting cut, like, stepping up, short notice with 48 hours to fight Fitch, and obviously the Hammond fight you lost. You think you got a little raw deal getting cut like that?
I wouldn't say it's a raw deal. I was shocked, but there's so many fighters in the world, and they're trying to have the best come in and the new ones and everything like that. They also know that I'm young. I don't feel I'm that young considering what we do. Hopefully I'm not 40 years old still fighting, but I just turned 27, so I guess that's kind of young in their eyes. And they see the potential, but with my weight class, it's just overrun with really good wrestlers, and they saw a downfall in my game, and that was my takedown defense and my wrestling. And they basically were like, "Yo, just go get that taken care of. Win some fights, and then we'll have you come back." And I can't really complain about that. That's it. Really, I've been working on it, but it literally opened my eyes to the point where I was like, they might be right. I've done privates now. I've been doing privates for my wrestling and my takedown defense. I'm working my even my wrestling offense, man. So everyone's gonna have to worry about you whether or not I want to take them down. I prefer to just knock people out and have them shooting on me, sprawl and brawl. Almost like the Chuck Liddell mentality. But the day and age of MMA is just evolving at such a high rate that you can't be so predictable. So my point, what I'm working on is my wrestling and being very unpredictable. You don't know what I'm going to do, and it's going to work out very well for me, and it did in my last fight.
It's a very big singlet.
It's a very big singlet. It is. Instead, I just wear.
That's very nice.
I wear booty shorts.
Booty shorts for wrestling practice. I like it. But now we're talking about your type of fighter. Obviously, you have very good jiu-jitsu. You're obviously a very good striker. You believe in striking. You like exciting fights. You've had several in the UFC, especially the Brandon Wolf fight. I think my head still hurts from watching that fight. But for the most part, I mean, what do you think about the wrestling in MMA right now? Do you think there's too much wrestling, or do you think it's just a facet of the business of the business that you have to kind of just react to?
I think the biggest thing is wrestlers are able to come into MMA, high level, high caliber wrestlers, even high school wrestlers, man. If you got the fundamentals and you got good wrestling, you're able to really just transfer into our sport. And dude, you might not be the best striker, boxer, kickboxer, or even jiu-jitsu artist, but you could be a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and have the defense to nullify a purple or brown belt. You could be a purple belt and be able to nullify a brown and black belt if you got the wrestling to take them down. And I think that's becoming like kind of a trend, and it's getting annoying. And, the evolution of the sport, if you actually look back in the day, we had Royce Gracie, it was Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Then we had Mark Coleman and all them come in and dominate with wrestling. Then we had Maurice Smith come in and say, enough with that, we're going to bring some kickboxing in the mix, and we're going to start knocking people out. And then you get, and then the evolution started. That's why Chuck Liddell became such a superstar, is because he had both. It was the evolution of the sport. He was able to sprawl and brawl, even against, high-caliber wrestlers. But the wrestlers are, in a sense, having an advantage of, if they're good at it and they can take you down, they can nullify you, they can blanket you, they can do a lot of things. The wrestlers that come to fight, that come to bring it, and actually ground and pound and finish fights, those, I have no problem with you, man. If that's your type of mentality and that's how you fight, then props to you. I'm excited for you, and I will be a fan of you. But a lot of the wrestlers, they take the fight out of the fight. They take the fight and turn it into a sport, and they play sport. Almost sports sparring. They turn it into a wrestling match, as opposed to, hey man, if you're going from guard to half guard, back to guard, hammer fist to half guard, to even side mount, not do anything, the guy gets guard back. Stuff's going on, but it ain't entertaining, and it ain't really a fight, and they're really not trying to finish the fight. We got 15 minutes. You know, they need to learn how to sprint. They need to learn how to get, you know, posture up, land down the blows that they need to land down, or they need to evolve their style and be able to stand up and use the wrestling and just mix it up, kind of like I'm trying to learn my wrestling just so I can mix it up, be unpredictable. But at the end of the day, if you're using a point system as opposed to finishing the fight, you're taking the fight out of the fight. You're turning it into just point sparring. And that's exactly what it is. Once it goes to the judges, who had the most points? That's point sparring. And that is not entertainment. And once again, I got no problem against wrestlers. As a striker personally, I would prefer to not fight wrestlers. And if I do, I prefer to keep it standing and sweep, submit, stand back up. That's my style because I feel that's entertaining. I'm the biggest fan of the sport you could ever fucking see. And that is exactly why when I fight, I don't just fight to win. I try to bring entertainment to the fans. Brutality, viciousness, which is a part of my game, is entertainment. Blood, unfortunately, as gross as it may be, is entertainment. But laying and praying or getting the takedown to catch your breath and then doing a hammer fist here or a punch to the thigh there is not entertaining. And hopefully they need to bring yellow cards in, or they need to change some rulings of the sport. They need to evolve the entire commission, to be honest with you. I mean, we've only been around for so long, and we made a sport out of it, great, but now, you know, just like football, even football and basketball and various other sports, they've been here for years. Little tiny, like, changes in the rules for the evolution of the sport has to happen.
Do you think that the current state of MMA and MMA judging specifically caters a little more to the wrestling game and gives that a little more credit than jiu-jitsu submissions or, say, like a knockdown in a fight?
I say yes, but it's not just because it's wrestling. I think it's more lack of knowledge from either the judges or the commission in general. If someone's on top of somebody, it's clearly going to look like the guy on top's winning. Even if the guy on bottom is doing all these submission attempts and the guy's nullifying them, but he still stays on top, who do you give the fight to? They give it to the guy on top, and I think that's wrong. If the guy on the bottom is getting nullified but is staying active, and he's the reason why there's any activity going on the ground, he deserves the win.
Absolutely. Now, what do you? How long do you think it's going to take you personally to adapt that to your game, to work on that, and basically work your way up back into the UFC?
I'm ready for the UFC right now. To be completely honest, I think there's a lot of guys in there that I could take right now. The top wrestlers at the division, I'm nonstop working on it, man. This is all I do for a living. I eat, sleep, breathe, bleed mixed martial arts. I've been doing privates, working on my wrestling, my takedown defense. I've been evolving with the sport because it's the evolution of the sport. You're seeing 20-year-old young guns jumping in there with vets like me, vets that are 30 years old, and they're holding their own and they're even winning. So it's crazy, man. We can't even there's no backpedaling, there's no stalling and like being like, oh, I'm gonna take a month off. I can't even take a month off. I haven't had a vacation ever in my life. You know, if I'm not fighting, I'm training. If I'm training, I'm hopefully training for a fight. It's just nonstop, and I'm bringing my game up. I've been seriously working my takedown defense. I've been working in advanced jiu-jitsu, which is like chain grappling, submission to submission to submission, to sweep, to stand back up, you name it. And, you know, I'm just trying to do whatever I can to prove to the UFC, Joe Silva, Dana White, any of you guys out there, man, I do believe I belong to fight the best in the world because that's where the challenge is, and that's what I'm here for, is to fight for the best in the world and get that belt. I want that belt. GSP, whoever has it, I'm coming for it. And, you know, I want to thank all the fans because you guys all believe in me. You love my the style that I bring, and that is a lot of you guys do kind of have a problem with my mentality of excitement, win, lose by no means necessary. And yeah, maybe that might think in your eyes that I'll never be a champion, but I'm gonna prove you wrong too. That's just how I fight. I don't wanna hear boos. If I hear boos, I'm not doing my job, bottom line. And that's what I don't like. I want the fans loving my fights, loving the excitement. And when I end my career, doesn't matter what my record is. I don't care how many wins, how many losses. I wanna be known as that kind of fighter. Not because I fought for the best and laid and prayed or was a boring fighter. My record doesn't matter because no one's going to care about that. At the end of the day, when I retire and I'm done, or what I want my kids and my family to like look at me at, or they see a highlight reel of me, That's what I look for every fight. What can I add to my highlight reel? What can I add to my, I guess, you know, who I am as a fighter, like true and true. Once again, Jeet Kune Do, baby, Bruce Lee, one of the only ones to ever really, truly represent him and be good at it. Because coming up, I was seeing, you see all these mixed martial artists come in there claiming Jeet Kune Do, and I would see them get smashed, and I'm like, oh, what is this garbage, man? You can't be claiming Jeet Kune Do and going out like that, because we are mixed martial arts. He was the original founder of mixed martial arts, so I'm here to represent that more than anything in the world, is to try to give Bruce Lee and Jeet Kune Do concepts the name it deserves.
Well, there you have it. That's Ben Saunders, the Killa B, trying to adapt to MMA, just like Bruce Lee. And what was that saying? Be like water, baby.
Be like water.